Hey, good Monday morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Sorry I started and then stopped, and I forgot to put my little headline in there for you that, we're going to look at this week's weather, and it looks like one really potent cold front coming in late in the week to some very cold air for the weekend. And it also, we're going to look farther and show you just little hints of not such a deep freeze. I don't want to use the word spring, but not such a deep freeze. What's it like at your place this morning? And by the way, welcome to the Monday edition. Can't you tell? Monday edition of the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Lush Lawn. Here's the radar across the state. Now, there's been about 3 to 6 inches of snow in the northwest part of Lower Peninsula. Around the Charlevoix area, up toward Petoskey, through Kalkaska, and parts of the Traverse City area. Heavier snow up to 8 inches across the central part of the UP. And one word of warning, I believe that the Grand Rapids radar is still out. They're not sure why it went down, but there's been some very light precipitation, some freezing drizzle around the Newaygo County area. They're reporting icy roads. In fact, one school district closed there. So take the radar in the western side of the state with a grain of salt, I guess, this morning, or actually you'll need some salt because there could be some freezing drizzle in there. So we'll just have to see how that goes. I may have lost you. Let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm back with you now. Hey, good morning, Rose. Good morning, Fawn Blanchard. And good morning from Hastings. Okay, let's see here. I'll get my act together yet. Here we go. All right, what's going on for the week? We are looking at the weather update, the model into the week. So today you're going to get just some snow showers, maybe a little bit of freezing drizzle. And then tomorrow, look at that, a little nose of warmer air coming into our area, fortunately. I think all of us are ready for a day or two at least of, above freezing temperatures. Hey, Annie Gray, good morning, and good morning, Gail Shakan from Benton Harbor. Frank Simpson, howdy. All right, so then Wednesday, not a lot going on. Maybe some snow showers. Nothing real put together this week. That's the first cold front, but then you'll see the second potent cold front. This is Thursday night. This is Friday morning. That's a strong Alberta clipper to our north. That's where the heavy snow stays up in Canada with this. And then the strong cold front comes on through. It looks like Friday or Saturday. And to me, this weather pattern signature right there, Sunday morning, looks like a really cold morning with a high pressure system from the Arctic settling in right at sunrise. So if the timing would stay on that, then we'll see maybe one of our coldest, if not our coldest mornings of the year. Let's go out into early next week. Still cold on Monday, but you'll notice that the area in the red, that is temperatures above freezing generally, that's starting to build northward. And so if you want some optimism toward, seeing a little light at the end of the tunnel, then you look at these temperatures, these red lines, kind of inch more and more toward us. And that's not to say that winter's over by any stretch. We've got several snowstorms still on the way. Hey, good morning, Tom Jones. And yes, Bagel the Beagle doing great. All right, so the radar showing through the afternoon, the snow showers moving in the eastern part of the state, and there can be some freezing drizzle in there too. Sometimes when the precipitation is so light, it does not turn into snowflakes, and it stays in the form of super cooled water, and it drops as freezing drizzle. And then things can get slick, kind of sneaky, especially on a back road or a driveway or a sidewalk or something. Hey, good morning. Tim Welch from Marysville. Carrie Draper having surgery on Valentine's Day. Oh no, what's the weather like for that? I don't think we go out quite that far just yet. And so on the radar today, nothing significant, but just something to keep your eye on, see if the roads change quickly for you. Now, total snowfall for this week. Well, we got this strong cold front coming through on Friday, and that could be a 4 to 8 incher on the west side of the state with the heavy lake effect snow. But, we go out 10 days and you see that we're not talking any snow system storm like we had last week. Just eastern part of the state talking 1 to 3 inches for 10 days in February. That's not really much. And then the west side and the UP get some of the areas of heavy lake effect. Temperatures, some really cold in here and some slight encouragement if you're looking for warmer temperatures. Today, about 30 degrees, plus or minus a degree or two. And Tuesday, let's call it a degree or two warmer than today. Oh, man, Phil checking in from Key Colony Beach, Florida. I've never heard of that, but sounds good right now. Driving from GR to Detroit on Wednesday. Clear. Carl, yes, it should be, I don't want to use the word clear, but there shouldn't be anything of real consequence. Wednesday, look at that. Highs in the upper 30s to near 40. Thursday, upper 20s. Friday, ahead of the cold front, maybe mid to upper 30s, even to Traverse City. Then Saturday, highs only in the single digits and lower teens, and Sunday in the teens. That's Super Bowl Sunday, right? And then there's your Valentine's Day. Looks cold and snuggly. And by next week, 10 days out, now admittedly, that's pretty far. We're looking at temperatures possibly in the 40s. So that's my contention that I think we're starting to see, I'm just trying to be optimistic. I don't want to sugarcoat it for you. We still have a lot of winter. We still, I'm sure, have several snowstorms. We still certainly could have our biggest snowstorm. But what I'm saying is deep Arctic cold, highs in the single digits and teens, lower 20s, lasting for 7 days, probably not going to happen anymore. We're going to pop up to 30, 35, 40 degrees, maybe for a day or two, drop back down. So still winter, but some breaks in there. And like by Wednesday, you got a chance of chipping off the old ice off the sidewalk. Kyle, when can I get some substantial sunshine to help melt what's currently on the car? And that is a really good point. The sunshine, the sun is higher. And even in the last couple of days when the sun popped out, you might have noticed, as cold as it was, the concrete, the snow started melting on the concrete, or if you have a dark, really black pavement, it works. When do you get that? You don't really this week. You might get a little on Tuesday, but Wednesday at least you'll have temperatures that'll warm up. Now these are the low temperatures, so tomorrow morning is going to be cold in single digits, and then Wednesday hot lows in the upper 20s to near 30, so that's kind of nice. And Thursday and Friday, but then Saturday cold, and then Sunday morning I'm targeting for when the high pressure builds in, the skies clear, the winds die down, and temperatures plunge. Now, this is the European model. The U.S. model only has us a few degrees below zero, but the point being, I guess, is that we have what looks to be a cold, cold weekend on the way. All right, there it is. Not quite as active as last week, but it's Michigan, so we always have something that we have to deal with. We got a little freezing drizzle today in the southern half of the state. Be careful with that. Probably not a big issue, but Newaygo County having an issue right now. Vicky Joe driving to Flint area today. Any ice on the roads? Like I said, probably not, but just keep your eyes on a little bit of isolated freezing drizzle. Got some warmer temperatures on the way to look forward to on Wednesday also, but don't get used to it because it won't last long. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Lush Lawn. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. As always, we will be here anytime, all the time, because weather never stops. Take care.